Welcome back to Super Sentai Reviews, episode 15. Sorry it took 4 months to actually do another review, but I was busy doing other things. Now I'm back with the series, and I have a Sentai I finished up. Which one of the 4 Sentai I mentioned in the last episode that basically I finished up? Now there was 4 that could be this episode's review. Carranger, Carranger, Gekisou, and Hurricaneer. Which one of these 4 actually I did finish? Carranger, because this one was the closest one to get finished, so I finished that one first. And don't worry, in a couple episodes I'm gonna do Gekisou because I'm working on that Sentai next. Okay, Carranger. Its full name is, and this is basically the translated name, Gekisou Sentai Carranger, otherwise known as Racing Squadron Carranger, or in the films, which I'll get to, they call it Rad Racing Squadron Carranger. I'll get to my opinion about that when in the next episode. I'll take you to Carranger films. Now, this one was used. Now, those of you who don't know about Carranger, this was the Sentai used for Power Rangers Turbo. Yep, the very Power Rangers season that very nearly killed the series. Now, in my honest opinion, I don't think Turbo was all that bad. There's some good stuff in there, here and there. I should point out that that Divatox, her account is a woman named Zord. Let's see if I can find her name here. Let's see. Now, the villains are known as the Bazak. They're basically space bikers. That's essentially what these people are, space bikers. You have Zonet, which her real name is Vanity Mirror Vanbelt. Yeah, that's really her name. There's also Grach, which is also the adventure guy. I don't remember what his name Power Rangers was. There's Zamalia, Elgar, yep, Gynmo, Rygor. Now, this one, like, what was that one? Oh, yeah, this one, like Time Ranger, Power Rangers had to switch it up a bit, exactly who the leader of the group is. In the Sentai, it's Gynor, who's the leader of the biker gang. In Turbo, it's Divatox. Yep. They did the same thing in Time Ranger. It's like this one, they later use similar ideas for this one in later seasons. Like switching villains, and also they used an idea they used from Ranger, which was only kill 2 bad guys the whole time, like 2 main bad guys, while all the rest of the villains all survive. Now, this is the first one I've seen where they actually reform at the end. Now, this one starts actually differently than Turbo did. Turbo, of course, started with the film. This one started off with a planet known as Hazard being destroyed by biker gang. Yeah, the sub I watched referred to them as biker gang, though in the actual films they referred about their actual name was as Bostic. I can't remember exactly what it was. Yeah, they destroyed the planet Hazard, and essentially only 2 people survive. A kid who forms the Carrangers, excuse me, and his father, who is the VRV master, who in Power Rangers, if you see him, you're like, hey, it's the Phantom Ranger. Yep, but unlike in Turbo, where they never bothered to actually explain him due to time, in the case of Carranger, they actually bothered to explain him. Basically, he is Dop's father. And also, this is really weird. He's one of 2 characters I've seen who actually uses their name as part of their, like, the way they talk, like, what the dap is going on? Yeah, it's really, really weird. I have never seen a mentor actually do this. Heck, in the film, he refers to himself as Chief Executive. No joke. But I'll get to that when it gets talk about the first film they did. Now, I didn't watch the Aftermath one because Didn't feel like it at all. Just a traffic safety. It was an educational video. Didn't want to watch it. I was interested in just them fighting. Now, when the Bach come to work, they basically are tricked because they heard about the whole Carranger thing. So they wanted to basically take him on, basically try to take out Earth. And basically, they did something in here also, and this is one other thing that Time Ranger and Go-Go 5 also did. Having people forcibly become Sentai Rangers. They did the same thing in Go-Go 5, though in the case of this one, they did pretty much the same thing in Go-Go 5. Though this was actually 3 seasons prior to that one, where 5 people who work at the same place are chosen at random to become the Carranger. They did kind of the same thing in Go-Go 5 and Time Ranger, where they with people who become Sentai Rangers against their will. Though eventually they get used to it and they don't have a really big problem with it. Don't like in Go-Go 5, they actually don't have to use their Megazord in the very first episode. That's something they don't do. Go-Go 5 did something different, but that's a few seasons back. And check out my review about Go-Go 5. I don't remember exactly what episode it was, but yeah. I should also point out this is the 10th Super Sentai I've ever finished. Currently, right now in Japan, they're airing the 41st Sentai, which is... what's the name of that one? That one is Uchu Sentai Carranger, yeah. Yeah, I think it's something to do with vehicles. That one basically has like 9 to start up with. That's the current one airing right now in Japan. This is the 20th one, basically. And unlike the way they did with Carranger when they celebrate 25 years, where they had various people from the previous Sentai teams come back and do a team up with the current team. They did something different. I'll get to that next episode, but this season, this particular Sentai is actually really good. It's really enjoyable to watch. And here's something interesting to know about these. Now, one thing neat about these guys, they all work at the same place, so they don't have to keep secrets from each other. Now, each of the Rangers basically have their own thing what they do at the shop. Basically, they work for the Pegasus automobile company. Red Racer is their test driver. The Blue Ranger is the one who designs all the cars. The Green Ranger, he's pretty much like their accountant in a way. The Yellow Ranger is the mechanic. Pink is the secretary. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Also, they have a character called Signal Man, which, if you see him, hey, it's the Blue Centaurian. Yep. Yeah, they just changed him to the Blue Centaurian, probably because it sounds cooler than Signal Man. Yeah. But in credits for titles of episodes he appears in, he's referred to as the traffic light guy. No joke, because he looks like a traffic light. Yeah. As for their vehicles, now, as for the Turbo Megazord, it's called, in this one, its Sentai counterpart is the RV Robo. No, it's not actually RV. It's RV stands for Ranger Vehicles. And then there's VRV, which is the vehicle that the VRV Master gives them. They are called... now, the initials are Victory Ranger Vehicles, and you have Fire, Police, Dump, which essentially is dump truck, bulldozer, and an ambulance. That's essentially what they are. And as for the original one, they're all cars. Simply, yeah, that's what they are. And you know that scene, basically seen in Shift to Turbo, I think it's part 1, I believe it is, where Tommy take out this manual. Excuse me. That's actually taken from the first time they actually use it. So, even though that's there as a joke, yeah, that's something that actually happened in the Sentai. But, now, one thing unique difference between Elgar and his Sentai counterpart, Elgar is just a comic relief and annoying. I don't blame Derek Pearson, basically, for Elgar's interpretation. I basically blame how he was written. He voiced him fine, but I don't have a problem with the way he voiced him, just how he was written. Yeah, way he was written, he would be annoying. No, they did take some cues of basically when they adapted to Turbo. Like in the case of Dap, they gave a lot of his traits to Justin. You know, basically pointing everything to the bad guys, like whatever's going on. And they even took stuff in here, not just like Zord footage and of course the suits. They also took a little what looks like a Comcast, I think it is. It's saying they pull up and they track. I think it's like a nav computer. Yeah, they actually use that in that one too. And I should point out also, I know the inspiration for. I know the reason why they decided to have it where in the final during at the end of Turbo, why the power chamber had to blow up, because in Carranger, in the Pendulum episode, the bad guys basically, of course, this is of course when the Carranger cut off from their power. They basically follow them to their garage, kind of like they do in Power Rangers Turbo, and they blow it up. Yeah, they blow it up. So, yeah, unlike in Turbo where they destroyed the Zords first, then blew up the Megazord, in the case of this one, in Carranger, it's reversed, where the bases blow up first, then the Zords are sort of taken out. But they're not destroyed, they're just heavily damaged. Yeah, they're heavily damaged. And it turns out the whole thing with the biker gang is that they were hired by this guy known as Exos, I think it's how you pronounce his name. He's this gigantic bee who apparently, and they never actually explain him that much, except they refer to him as Biker Lord, though his actual name was Reckless Emperor. Yeah. Well, apparently he acts like the boss of the group, and and here's the thing, he shows up in the last 14 episodes of Carranger. Unlike in Power Rangers, where he shows up for one episode, this one he shows up for 14 episodes, and his that monster that the Turbo Rangers fight, which costs them their Megazords, yeah, that's actually Exo's super strong form. Yep. And how he's defeated is essentially he gets reduced on set. Now, unlike in Turbo, of how he's defeated, where they pretty much throw the Turbo Ranger sacrifice individual weapons to destroy him. In Carranger, first they use the little. Basically, they develop a way to get their monster to go giant size. Unlike in Turbo, where they use torpedoes. In the case of Carranger, they use a piece of food, which they chew. It looks like cheese. I think it's like Icho. It's like a small block cheese they eat, and somehow that causes them to grow giant size. And basically, at the end, apparently they had expired versions of them. So, Gyro basically tried to go giant size, but it had been too bad for him because they were expired. So he's like, okay, since I can't use this, myself, why not throw it at the bad guy? And he swallowed it and shrinked down to the normal size. And then the Carranger just simply go into their basically kind of turn the car and just blast right through him. Yeah. It's kind of an anticlimactic way to defeat the main bad guy. Yeah, essentially, but he is essentially the main bad guy. This path, like, Gyro basically most of the time was the main bad guy. Oh, there's one other villain I forgot to talk about. Rick Ryder, a.k.a. General Havoc. Now, essentially, he doesn't do that much different in that he does in Turbo. But in the case of this one, in the case of that big ball, the space station that Divatox gets, that's actually the home planet. That's actually sort of like a home station, I think it is, it's called the SS Barbin, I think it's called. And apparently it's kind of like a ship. And of course the Carrangers actually use it to get back their powers after the thing crashes on Earth. Yeah. So anytime you see, basically this ball remains in orbit the whole series. The only time it's taken up orbit is actually I believe in the last couple episodes, it's finally taken out of orbit after the Carrangers' powers are basically seized up. I'm trying to think though. Oh, and General Havoc, his counterpart, yeah, he actually gets destroyed once his Zord, his robot, gets destroyed. Yeah, he gets destroyed along with it, and of course, he is not there when the Army robot was sent out to go against the VRV Robo. Yeah, he's not there. Basically, the Gyro basically takes over back over the gang and just sends the thing out with a giant battery thing and not much different, but they get back their Zords. But unlike General Havoc, his Sentai kind of actually appeared a lot more than just a handful of episodes. Yeah, General Havoc appeared for like 4 or 5 episodes. In the case of his Sentai counterpart, he appeared for 16. He appeared for like 16 episodes. And how's the guy's gold look? He starts out with his head being blue, and after he gets infected with evil cosmic energy, he becomes gold, and he becomes super intelligent. Yep. I think though he's actually a pretty interesting villain, but he was one of 2 actually destroyed because, and of course the Bicolor was also destroyed as well. But none of the other villains were destroyed. They weren't sealed like they were in Zyuranger. They were just redeemed, and they decided to have 2 of them go back to elementary school, and also running a restaurant. Okay. But one thing that's quite funny though is the fact that the Red Ranger is like, okay, he has alien women falling for him. First is Zenat basically in regular Carranger, and then when he shows up in Gekisou, he gets the person who's like the tech woman for the Zenkak in Gekisou. She apparently develops a thing for him as well, which is weird. It's like the guy can't get enough from alien women. He's probably like very attracted to alien women. Though in the case of the first one, she actually looked very human. The other one, not really so sure about her. But yeah, it's a pretty enjoyable season. I highly recommend Carranger. If you didn't like Turbo that much, try out Carranger. It's actually a little bit better. In the case of villains, they're 50-50, about even per se. At least they have a good amount of plan of what they're supposed to do. But Rangers themselves, not much different from how they are portrayed in Power Rangers. Trying to think though. Yeah, but villains are a little bit better than they are in Turbo, but at least they're so enjoyable to watch. Yeah. Oh, and the villains don't reduce to sand like they do in when they show up at the end of In Space. Yeah. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next video, where I'll talk about 2 Carranger films. One they team up with Oranger, and the other one team with Mega Ranger. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.